The video of this guy, Chris, the player, or whoever he is, has been floating around for about a month now. I wasn't going to say anything about it in the beginning, but it still continues to float around, and it's just a topic that just won't go away. But stay to the end of my video because I have a different perspective on this situation than what everyone else is talking about. It seems that everyone else is talking about this from a manosphere point of view, and that the white guy that they call Zaddy, is checking this guy, and this guy is submitting to the white guy. And I see all these things and I see where they're coming from, but I have a different perspective just from my personal experience. If you look at some of my older videos from the beginning, my background is more from a narcissistic survival abuse perspective. From being in a toxic relationship myself and being a survivor, I see things on a little bit of a different spin than how everybody else is looking at this topic right here with this guy. I see the things that they're talking about, but my spin on it is a little bit different because my ex and the person that I was with, he was a narcissist, but he wasn't a narcissist because of the manosphere. The manosphere didn't make him a narcissist. He was already a narcissist, and a manosphere is where he chose to plant himself. And if you know anything about narcissists, a lot of times narcissists plant themselves in different arenas. They'll plant themselves in the church. They'll plant themselves into politics. They'll plant themselves anywhere where sheep-like people will follow. So this is where my ex chose to plant himself. And he would use a lot of these philosophies and beliefs as a way to abuse, a way as to gaslight, as a way as to control. So that's how I see things. So I'm going to play a little clip from this guy, and then I'll be back.
You expect a woman to be the perfect woman, to be you want a housewife without being a husband, and that's what's wrong. And you're sitting here giving dating advice to people. You're leading men down a dangerous path. You want a good wife? You want a good wife, a lover? You get a job. You do your job as a man. How dare you say that a woman should do her job and prioritize her wants to worship you when you don't do a thing? If you don't provide for that woman, she don't owe you a fucking thing, dude. Not a thing. And it's simple to me because you call them bitches, yeah, I'm just hanging with my bitches. That says all I need to know about you. And that's why women don't with you. That's why good women don't with you. That's why you have a problem dating, because good women know you're not a good man. And you're giving all this advice. You're a shitty man.
The way that this is being brought out by other YouTubers that I see around is that they're focusing on how this black guy is submitting to this white guy on the phone. He can say all this offensive stuff to him, and yet when you look at his facial expressions, he's smiling and ducking his head down and not interrupting, not standing up for himself or anything like that. And all of that is true. He is submitting and bowing down to this guy. But the perspective that I look at it as from a narcissistic perspective is that when a lot of narcissists go out into the public to deal with other people, especially other men, they'll put that mask on and they'll submit like they're this humble, nice, understanding guy that could take other people's opinions. But then when they get home with their woman, that mask slips off and then they're verbally abusive to them. And what they take off of these guys out in the streets or out in the world, they would never take from a woman. A woman could have never called that show and talked to him like that. He would have been interrupting and saying, this is my show. You don't talk to me like that. She would have got hung up on after she got called all kinds of names. And she would have been made a mockery out of on the call-in show. But this guy sat there quietly and let this guy say all this offensive stuff to him. And if you can go out there and find a video in the full length, you will see that he let this man go off on him and call him the N-word, called him a beast, and just said all kinds of racial and offensive stuff to this guy. And he said nothing. He just sat there and ducked his head down, submitted, and smiled. But like I said, had that been his mate or a woman, it would have been a whole different story. She would have been called all kinds of names, or like under the roof or the household, she might have got hit. And so that's how narcissists act. But I also have another perspective from even the white guy's point of view. So listen to this.
Okay. I have a wife who doesn't vote because I tell her she shouldn't because she's a woman. Okay. I have a wife who stays at home, who cooks and cleans. Okay. But
did you hear what the white guy just said? He said that his wife, he doesn't allow her to vote because she's a woman, and that she sits at home and cooks and cleans. You know, staying at home and cooking and cleaning, it's nothing wrong with that. But I'm seeing all kinds of red flags going up when he was saying that he don't allow her to do this or that because she's a woman. That don't sound like a walk in the park to me either. You have these YouTubers out here saying, oh, Zaddy, making it seem like this white guy is so much better than the black guy. But as far as I'm concerned, the white guy is toxic too. And I wouldn't want to be up in his house. He sounds like a narcissist. They both sound like narcissists. They both sound toxic. And so I just want women to be careful when it comes to all this Zaddy talk and saying that, you know, white guys are better than black guys or might treat you better, because narcissism knows no color. And you can get out of a toxic relationship with a black guy and wind up in a toxic relationship with a white guy. Narcissists come in all different colors, and there's all kinds of red flags. So as far as I'm concerned, the whole situation is a problem. And the narcissism is going both ways. And this whole conversation sounds bad for the women on both sides of the fence. So I just want to tell women just to be careful no matter who you're dealing with. Whether you choose to deal with black guys or you choose to deal with black guys or any kind of color guys. Just still recognize the red flags and the toxic rhetoric and conversation. And just be careful, because you can wind up in an abusive, toxic relationship no matter what's going on. And so that's my perspective on this. It's not so much about the manosphere, about the black guy being submissive to the white guy and all of that as far as the color. I'm just looking at it from how narcissists make their moves and how narcissists use a lot of these movements to abuse. So that's my point of view on this whole situation. Let me know down in the comments how you feel about it. And I'll see you guys on the next one.